Hi, this is Nick. Welcome back. So today I just want to touch on what I think are the characteristics that somebody has to have in order to do well in business, in order to be somebody who can accept and enjoy having their own business. And so obviously the first one is your attitude towards risk. There are people who in this world love uncertainty. They love the gamesmanship of trying to solve problems without having any idea how they're going to do it, and they figure it out, and they build their own certainty in terms of the business or their life going forward. And there are other people who are really unsettled by that and find the experience of that level of uncertainty, that level of risk, being something that's really not for them. Now, neither of those points of view is wrong. It's just a different point of view, and it's differently, in terms of how people feel about it. But if you are somebody that really hates uncertainty, then you may struggle having your own business, because having your own business throws up challenges all the time without clear solutions, and does present, you're going to put your resources in certain directions, your time, your effort, your business, your life in many respects. You're going to make decisions about what direction it's going to go, and you don't know necessarily what the outcome's going to be. And you have to be confident enough to be able to move and take that decision. So your attitude towards risk has to be okay. You've got to be comfortable with it. I don't like recklessness. I'm not advocating that. I'm not saying people should go out and take crazy risks. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if you have a real problem with risk, maybe this isn't for you. Next, energy levels. If you drag yourself out of bed in the morning and find that every day is just, you never really get going, this is not for you. Now, I'm going to qualify this. There are people I know who are like that when they're working for others. And as soon as they are working for themselves, suddenly snap, energy, alive, awake, because it's their game. They're playing their own game, and suddenly they find energy. So if you're somebody that kind of struggles with the straitjacket of working for other people, it might be that a business is something you find very energizing. But if you haven't got a bit of energy about you, you will struggle. Right, you've got to find that from somewhere, because you've got to be able to solve problems, fix, get work done, get sales done, get things out the door, get things moving, and motivate others. And you have to do that sometimes by drawing upon energy within you without anything necessarily kind of externally driving you along. You've got to create the pace that the company moves at. And if you feel that that's not for you, then I would, at least think about whether or not you can do that before starting a business. And similar to that, but not quite the same thing, is persistence. There are people I know who are very, very energetic until they hit a barrier. And as soon as they hit a barrier, then boom, energy levels drop. And they don't seem to have the determination to keep going and fix the problems that don't have obvious solutions, fix the problems that are hard to figure out, fix the problems where you've got to do things you don't really want to do. Things that some areas of running a business are exciting and interesting, but there's plenty of stuff that's boring, like any job. And if you don't have the persistence to overcome those barriers and to see those things through, even when you don't particularly enjoy doing them, you are going to bump into things that will stop your business. So you have to have a certain level of persistence. You need to be able to channel energy. Again, I've seen guys who are they're running around all over the place. They've got a new plan, and they've got another new plan, and they're excited, and so on and so on. And actually, there's no structure or discipline about what they're doing at all. They can't seem to focus and channel their energy in directions that are actually going to move the business forward and enable other people and customers and so on to buy into what you're doing. So if you're too scattered in your approach, you will find it very difficult to channel resources in a way that's clever. You'll just end up finding you've got no money and you've got no time and everything's running away from you, and you can't bring things together and actually make solid steps towards progressing the business. So that's a key one. And the last one, and in my opinion the most important, is a willingness to sell. As soon as you start a business, then in my opinion you become a salesperson. Even if you're going to hire salespeople, even if you're going to sell online, even if you're not necessarily going to meet your customers, you have to have a willingness to be able to sell what you do. And some people absolutely have that, and others just don't, and don't like the idea of sales and find sales to be something they're uncomfortable with. Well, if you're like that, then again, think about whether or not starting a business is really for you, because even if you're not dealing in the day-to-day customer position, you've still got to enthuse people who are, and you've still got to deal with the bank manager or investors or suppliers or whatever it might be, and you have to be able to win them over to your point of view. But I'm going to put a sort of a little caveat, a little thing around that to say, but understand what good sales is. Good sales is just communication enabling you to help somebody. That's actually all you're doing when you sell. This whole idea is of forcing something down somebody's throat is a terrible idea. And what customers will do in that situation is say no, or buy it if they feel forced into it, and then complain and then leave, and you can't build a business that way. If you're going to build a business, what you're doing in sales is just communicating well enough with people so as to enable them to be helped by you. That's it. So don't be put off by sales. If you think you can communicate, you can sell. And there's plenty of other things I'm going to be talking about in the future in terms of how you do that. But those are my characteristics. Those are the things like your attitude to risk, your energy, your persistence level, your willingness to sell, and your ability to channel energy. Those are the things that I think if you have, then you're ready. You know, you can start a business on that basis, and you should think about it seriously, because if you don't, you might just find that you're frustrated later on when that energy and that drive and that determination and that willingness to take risks is just not really acknowledged or rewarded by working for somebody else. Think about it. Thanks for listening.